Imagine a reality where every second of your day revolves around chasing pleasure. Picture a life filled with constant gratification, endless entertainment, distractions, and indulgences designed to cater to your every whim. Now pause and ask yourself, what would you sacrifice for this? Could this endless pursuit of happiness lead not to freedom, but to bondage? Today we'll uncover how the quest for pleasure, as warned by Aldous Huxley, can morph into a form of modern enslavement. We'll delve into timeless wisdom and contemporary psychology to reveal how our craving for comfort, ease, and satisfaction might quietly strip us of our autonomy and humanity. By the end of this discussion, we'll share a profound insight, a perspective that could transform how you view your life forever. Let's embark on this journey to understand the hidden perils of pleasure and discover how to reclaim our freedom in a world bent on chaining us to fleeting desires. In his groundbreaking novel Brave New World, Aldous Huxley paints a chilling vision of a dystopia where humanity trades its freedom for the illusion of happiness. Citizens are pacified with soma, a drug ensuring perpetual contentment no matter how hollow their lives become. Huxley's dystopia wasn't built on chains or prisons, but on pleasure so intoxicating that resistance seemed unnecessary. This, he argued, is the most subtle form of control. Reflect now on our own society. From incessant notifications to the endless scroll of social media, aren't we offered our own version of soma? Psychologists like Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, known for his work on flow, caution that while technology can engage us momentarily, it also traps us in addictive cycles. Algorithms feed us tailored pleasures, videos, ads, and content that keep us hooked, but ultimately leave us feeling empty. Consider this. How often do you reach for your phone, seeking a quick burst of joy, only to lose hours feeling more drained than fulfilled? The pursuit of pleasure has a darker side, which modern psychology terms the hedonic treadmill. This concept reveals that no matter how much happiness we achieve, we quickly adapt, returning to a baseline level of contentment. Whether it's a new car, a delicious meal, or an exciting experience, the joy fades, and the craving for the next fix begins. In Huxley's words, we become prisoners of our desires, endlessly chasing satisfaction that remains perpetually out of reach. This isn't just theoretical. Research highlights a troubling link between modern conveniences and declining mental health. A 2020 study in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that excessive screen time, especially on social media, correlates with higher rates of anxiety and depression. What's alarming is how this cycle perpetuates itself. The more disconnected and unhappy we feel, the more we turn to the very devices fueling our despair. What then is the true cost of this endless chase for pleasure? Philosopher Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning, argued that genuine fulfillment stems not from chasing happiness, but from discovering purpose. He believed that when individuals lack meaning, they seek distractions, deepening their existential void. Ask yourself, are you living a purpose-driven life, or have you unknowingly let the pursuit of pleasure dictate your choices? This question isn't merely philosophical, it's deeply practical. Every day, we face decisions. Should we binge another series or spend time with loved ones? Should we scroll aimlessly or invest in personal growth? These small, seemingly insignificant moments accumulate into the framework of our lives. Aldous Huxley once remarked that humans have an almost infinite capacity for taking things for granted. In the relentless pursuit of pleasure, we risk overlooking deeper joys, relationships, creativity, self-discovery, and contributing to something greater than ourselves. This brings us to a powerful realization. Pleasure, when pursued recklessly, doesn't lead to freedom. Instead, it creates invisible chains binding us to habits, cravings, and distractions that drain our energy, time, and potential. As we proceed, we'll explore the hidden systems thriving on our addiction to pleasure and how to break free from them. But for now, reflect. Are you living as a free individual, or are you merely a consumer in a world profiting from your desires? Let this thought guide you as we delve deeper into understanding and self-liberation. What lies ahead will challenge how you perceive not just the world, but yourself. Imagine a marketplace where the currency is your attention. In this realm, the most valuable commodity isn't gold, oil, or even technology. It's you. Every moment spent scrolling, clicking, or consuming means you're not just engaging with content. You're being bought and sold. Welcome to the attention economy, a system thriving on your addiction to pleasure, keeping you trapped in an endless cycle of consumption. To grasp how deeply this system controls us, consider how it exploits our biology. Neuroscientist Dr. Robert Sapolsky, an expert in stress and dopamine research, explains that our brains are wired to seek rewards. Each pleasurable experience triggers dopamine release, reinforcing behaviors. Whether it's the satisfaction of likes, the thrill of a purchase, or the rush of winning a game, this dopamine hit creates a feedback loop, drawing us back repeatedly. Here's the catch. The anticipation of pleasure often releases more dopamine than the pleasure itself. That's why we eagerly await text replies or obsessively refresh feeds. It's not the outcome, but the possibility of reward that keeps us hooked. Thus, the attention economy turns us into perpetual seekers, always yearning but never truly satisfied. Reflect on your daily life. Have you ever caught yourself checking your phone unconsciously or craving something, a snack, a video, validation, only to feel empty once you've had it? These aren't coincidences. They're meticulously engineered experiences. As Tristan Harris, a former Google design ethicist, explains, platforms exploit our vulnerabilities using intermittent variable rewards, a mechanism borrowed from slot machines to keep us addicted. Now, connect this to Aldous Huxley's vision in Brave New World. The pursuit of pleasure wasn't just a personal flaw, it was a societal tool for control. People were so consumed by their desires that they ignored or accepted the loss of autonomy. Today, we face a similar threat. While we may not take soma, we're bombarded with digital distractions serving the same purpose, pacifying us and keeping us compliant. Why does this matter? Because unchecked pursuit of pleasure robs us not just of time, but of our potential. When we prioritize fleeting gratification over meaningful pursuits, we forfeit opportunities for growth, learning, and contribution. Author Cal Newport, in Deep Work, highlights how shallow engagement with technology erodes our ability to focus and achieve mastery. He argues that life's greatest rewards come not from easy pleasures, but from sustained effort and deep concentration. Consider how much of your time is spent on activities enriching your life. How often do you choose immediate satisfaction over long-term fulfillment? These questions aren't meant to shame, but to awaken. Recognizing patterns is the first step toward reclaiming freedom. Breaking free is easier said than done. Our system doesn't just encourage pleasure-seeking, it normalizes it. Advertisements promise instant happiness, and cultural messages equate success with material wealth, constantly telling us that more is better. Philosopher Erich Fromm, in To Have or To Be, warned of this trap. He argued that modern society's obsession with possession over being leads to a superficial existence where true joy is replaced by hollow satisfaction. What's the alternative? It starts with shifting from seeking pleasure to seeking purpose, not abandoning joy, but rethinking its role. Psychologist Martin Seligman, the father of positive psychology, shows that the most fulfilling lives center on meaning, engagement, and relationships. Pleasure is part of the equation, but not the whole. Reflect, what brings you lasting joy? Not fleeting satisfaction, but the enduring fulfillment from creating, connecting, and contributing. Can you identify one area where you're prioritizing short-term gratification over long-term growth? As we delve deeper, we'll explore practical ways to break free from the attention economy and rediscover intentional living. For now, hold on to this truth. Unchecked pursuit of pleasure becomes a pursuit of slavery. True freedom requires discerning between what delights us and what destroys us. The answers lie not in the next distraction, but in quiet moments of self-reflection. Let's continue this journey together, uncovering how to reclaim our time, focus, and ultimately, our lives. What comes next will challenge everything you think you know about happiness and freedom. Let's delve deeper into the psychological and philosophical consequences of a life driven by pleasure. If there's one lesson from thinkers like Aldous Huxley and modern psychologists, it's this: unchecked hedonism enslaves not just individuals, but reshapes entire societies. Consider soft tyranny, a term describing control that feels comforting rather than oppressive. Alexis de Tocqueville warned that people might willingly surrender freedoms for comfort and security. This is precisely Huxley's Brave New World, a society lulled into compliance not by fear but by pleasure and distraction. Look at our world. Daily, we're bombarded with promises of ease, smart devices thinking for us, apps delivering instant gratification, and a culture glorifying convenience above all else. While these advancements make life comfortable, they also make us dependent. The less effort we exert, the more power we surrender to those controlling these systems. The hidden danger? This dependence doesn't feel like enslavement. It feels like progress. As Huxley wrote, a truly efficient totalitarian state would control a population of slaves who don't need coercion because they love their servitude. Reflect on your life. How many decisions are truly free and how many are influenced, if not dictated, by algorithms, trends, or societal expectations? When did you last choose discomfort for growth instead of opting for the path of least resistance? This isn't just personal. The consequences ripple outward, affecting relationships, communities, and the planet. Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard described this as the despair of the aesthetic life, where individuals chase beauty and pleasure at the expense of meaning and responsibility. He believed true fulfillment comes from embracing the ethical life, a life of purpose, commitment, and higher ideals. Let's make this practical. Imagine two paths, one smooth and easy, leading to instant gratification but little substance. The other rocky and challenging, requiring effort and sacrifice, but offering growth, connection, and legacy. Which path are you on now? Modern psychology supports Kierkegaard's insights. Studies show that prioritizing intrinsic goals, personal growth, relationships, contribution, leads to greater happiness and life satisfaction than chasing extrinsic rewards like wealth, fame, or status. Yet our culture pushes us toward the latter. Why? Because consumerism thrives on dissatisfaction. If you were truly content, you wouldn't need the latest gadget, trend, or product. That's why advertisers sell lifestyles, not just products. They convince you happiness is always one purchase away. But here's the truth. No external pleasure can fill an internal void. That's why many, despite having everything they thought they wanted, still feel unfulfilled. Psychologist Carl Jung famously said people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their souls. The relentless pursuit of pleasure often avoids the harder but more rewarding work of self-discovery. How do we escape this trap? It starts with awareness, recognizing systems and behaviors keeping us enslaved to pleasure. But awareness alone isn't enough. We must act deliberately, sometimes uncomfortably, to reclaim our lives. Start small, turn off notifications, set tech boundaries, choose meaningful activities over distractions. These actions may seem minor, but are revolutionary in a world designed to distract. Ask yourself, What would your life look like prioritizing meaning over pleasure? What habits or mindsets would you change to walk the path of growth rather than gratification? As we approach the final part of this journey, we'll explore the most profound insight, the ultimate key to breaking free from pleasure's chains. This revelation has the power to transform not just how you live, but who you are. Stay with us, because the most important lesson is yet to come. Let's confront the heart of the matter. How do we reclaim freedom in a world thriving on our addiction to pleasure? The answer lies in understanding a profound truth. Real freedom comes not from doing whatever we want, but from having the discipline to choose what truly matters. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This insight is liberation's cornerstone. Anchoring our lives to a deep purpose weakens pleasure's grip. Purpose acts as a compass, guiding us through distractions toward significance. Consider visionaries like Gandhi, Mother Teresa, or Martin Luther King Jr. Their greatness didn't stem from seeking comfort, but from embracing struggle for something larger than themselves. They remind us that profound joy often comes from service, creativity, and perseverance, not momentary indulgence. But how do we find our why in a world pulling us in countless directions? Viktor Frankl offers guidance. In Man's Search for Meaning, he identifies 3 sources of meaning: creating value, experiencing love and connection, and finding growth in suffering. Each requires looking beyond ourselves and immediate desires, inviting deep engagement with life. Ask yourself, what legacy do I want to leave? How can I use my strengths to contribute to others? How can I transform difficulty into growth? These questions are challenging but transformative. Seeking answers takes the first steps toward breaking free from pleasure's chains and stepping into a purposeful life. Now, let's address the most important insight, the revelation tying everything together. The pursuit of pleasure, though alluring, distracts from the deeper pursuit of meaning. True happiness, as Aristotle believed, comes from eudaimonia, a flourishing life. This isn't a life of endless pleasure, but one aligned with virtue, wisdom, and intentionality. To live such a life, we must cultivate discipline. Discipline is choosing long-term rewards over short-term gratification. It's saying no to what's easy and yes to what's right. As Jocko Willink says, discipline equals freedom. Through discipline, we master our impulses and become creators of our destinies, rather than prisoners of our desires. To build discipline, start with small, consistent habits. Wake up earlier to meditate or reflect. Dedicate time daily to meaningful goals. Limit exposure to distractions draining your energy and attention. These small acts of self-control may seem minor, but create a ripple effect, reshaping your life. Another powerful practice: embrace discomfort. Growth rarely occurs in comfort zones. Push physical limits, learn new skills, or face difficult truths. Willingness to endure discomfort separates achievers from those settling for mediocrity. Consider this: every time you choose discipline over indulgence, you strengthen your ability to live purposefully. Every time you resist distractions, you reclaim a piece of your freedom. These moments of choice, small acts, are rebellions against a world profiting from your complacency. As we conclude, return to Aldous Huxley's warning. He foresaw a world where pleasure would be a tool of control, where people would trade freedom for comfort and potential for convenience. But he also believed in humanity's capacity for awareness and resistance. You have the power to break free by choosing purpose over pleasure, discipline over indulgence, and meaning over distraction. Reclaim your autonomy and live a life of true fulfillment. So, what will you choose? Will you follow the easy path dictated by fleeting desires, or will you rise above, embracing the challenge of living intentionally and purposefully? The choice is yours. Remember, this journey isn't just about improving your life. It's about inspiring others to do the same. Share your thoughts, struggles, and victories. Together, we can build a world where freedom isn't a forgotten ideal, but a lived reality. This is your moment to awaken. The chains are invisible, but they can be broken. The path is steep, but it leads to greatness. Choose wisely and step boldly into the life you were meant to live.